There is something inside each one of us that whispers lies in our moments of doubt. It's that subtle voice that tells you you can't do it, or this is too hard, or worse, you're not enough. These are the weak feelings, the feelings that weigh you down like chains around your ankles when you're trying to run toward your destiny. They come disguised as fear, as hesitation, as insecurity. They dress themselves up as excuses, comfort zones, and doubts. But make no mistake, these weak feelings are the enemies of progress. If you want to move forward, if you want to grow, if you want to fulfill your purpose, you must first understand the nature of these feelings, then confront them head on. Weak feelings are natural. You didn't become human and suddenly gain immunity from fear or discouragement. They are part of the human experience. What separates those who win from those who remain stuck is not the absence of these feelings, but the response to them. Weak feelings are like quicks, and the more you struggle in confusion or hesitation, the deeper you sink. But when you recognize quicks, and for what it is, you stop struggling and find solid ground, recognition is the first step to overcoming these enemies. When you can say, I see you fear, I see you doubt, you take away their power over you. These feelings often come from a place of misunderstanding. When you feel weak, it is because you have bought into a lie. Often the lie that your circumstances define you or that your past failures are the measure of your future. But listen carefully, your feelings are not facts. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you are weak. Just because you feel uncertain doesn't mean you are powerless. Feelings are signals, not verdicts. They tell you what's happening inside, but they do not have the final say. The enemy wants you to confuse feelings with identity. You are your feelings. They say, no, you are a soul made in strength, designed for greatness, capable of rising above every weak feeling that tries to claim you. Now, here's the truth that many avoid. Weak feelings can become a habit. The longer you entertain doubt, the more it cements itself into your mind. It becomes a pattern, a cycle that is hard to break. Every time you give in to hesitation, you train your mind to expect defeat. Every time you listen to the voice of fear without challenging it, you are strengthening the chains that bind you. But here is the good news. Just as weakness can be cultivated, so can strength. You can break the cycle by refusing to feed the weak feelings. Instead of running from them, face them with courage. Say, you will not have me. I am greater than you. Weak feelings often come from the outside world, trying to convince you that you don't belong in the place you're reaching for. Maybe it's a job you want, a dream you have, a relationship you long to heal. The world will throw shadows of doubt your way. People who say it's too hard, or you don't have what it takes, or you're dreaming too big. These external voices can stir the weak feelings within you. But when you recognize weak feelings as enemies of your progress, you learn to separate the noise from the truth. Your progress depends not on the approval of others, but on the strength within you to press forward despite the noise. It is also important to understand that weak feelings are temporary, but decisions based on them can have permanent consequences. You might feel like quitting today, but if you make that decision in the moment of weakness, you may close doors forever. If you let fear keep you frozen, you might miss opportunities that will never come again. Feelings come and go like storms, but your decisions plant seeds for the future. Choose wisely, and refuse to allow a moment's weakness to determine your destiny. One of the most powerful weapons against weak feelings is knowledge. When you understand that weak feelings are a natural part of the process, when you learn how your mind works, you can use that knowledge to gain control. Weak feelings thrive in ignorance and uncertainty. When you educate yourself about your emotions, about the science of the mind, about your own capacity to overcome, you strip away their power. Knowledge creates confidence. Confidence pushes back fear. Fear retreats before the light of truth. Don't let weak feelings fool you into thinking you are alone. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced these feelings. They are not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you are pushing beyond your comfort zone. Growth happens when you move through these feelings, not when you run from them. Each time you confront fear or doubt and choose to act anyway, you grow stronger. Each time you reject weak feelings, you build muscles of courage and resilience. Understand this deeply. Weak feelings can only hold you down as long as you allow them to. Your mind is a battlefield, and the fight is not with your circumstances, your past, or the world around you. It is with the weak feelings that arise inside you. When you recognize these feelings as enemies, you can begin to strategize against them. You can build habits, create affirmations, surround yourself with encouragement, and take deliberate actions that drown out weakness. Today, I challenge you to look at your weak feelings, not with shame, not with fear, but with clarity and strength. Name them, own them. Understand that they are temporary visitors in the house of your soul. Then choose to kill them with action, with faith, with discipline. Do not wait for the feelings to disappear. Move forward in spite of them. For it is not the absence of weak feelings that makes the winner, but the courage to rise above them. Remember, the voice of weakness can be loud, but it is never louder than the voice of your purpose. When you understand that weak feelings are your enemies, you refuse to be their prisoner. You declare freedom for your mind, power for your spirit, and victory for your life. There is a truth that many people fail to grasp about their emotions. They are not slaves to their feelings. Too often, we act as if our feelings have a mind of their own, as if they are uncontrollable forces sweeping us away like a flood. But here's the reality. Your emotional state is not something that happens to you. It is something you can master. It is your responsibility to take ownership of how you feel, how you react, and ultimately how you move forward. When you understand that emotional mastery is not optional but essential to winning in life, everything changes. Think about it. Every great leader, every successful person, every individual who has walked through hardship and emerged victorious has learned to govern their inner world before they could conquer the outer world. They understood that no external circumstance has the power to define them unless they allow it to. The storms of life may rage, but they can choose how to respond, whether to be broken or strengthened, defeated or determined. This is the power of ownership over your emotional state. Many people fall into the trap of blaming their feelings on others or on their circumstances. I'm sad because of what happened. I'm angry because of what they said. I'm discouraged because of the way things turned out. While it is true that life events influence our feelings, what truly determines the course of your life is how you handle those feelings. The moment you say, "My emotions are out of my control," you give away your power. But when you say, "I am in charge of my emotional responses," you reclaim authority over your life. Taking ownership means refusing to be a victim of your feelings. It means recognizing that feelings are signals, but not dictators. They give information about what is happening inside you, but they do not have to command your actions. You get to decide how you act on those feelings. If you feel fear, do you let it paralyze you or push you to prepare and overcome? If you feel disappointment, do you allow it to rob your hope or fuel your determination? Ownership means choosing to respond in ways that move you toward your goals, not away from them. This ownership also requires discipline. Just as you would not expect a muscle to grow without exercise, you cannot expect emotional mastery without practice. You have to train your mind to recognize feelings without being ruled by them. You have to develop the habit of asking yourself, is this feeling helping me or harming me? Does this emotion bring me closer to my purpose or pull me further away? When you catch yourself in moments of weakness, take a breath, reset, and choose a different path. This is emotional discipline, and it is the foundation of strength. Part of taking ownership of your emotional state is understanding that feelings are often temporary, but the choices you make during those feelings have lasting impact. You might wake up feeling defeated or anxious, but you do not have to stay in that place. You have the ability to shift your mindset and change your trajectory. This does not mean ignoring or suppressing your emotions, but rather acknowledging them and then deciding to act in spite of them. It means saying to yourself, I feel this way right now, but I will not let this feeling decide my future. Another important aspect is self-awareness. You must become intimately familiar with your emotional patterns, what triggers your weak feelings, how you tend to react, and what you can do to regain control. Self-awareness is like a flashlight in the dark. It reveals where your weaknesses lie so you can confront them. When you are aware of your emotions, you can intervene before they take over. You can practice prayer, meditation, or any method that helps you regain focus and peace. Without this awareness, weak feelings sneak in unnoticed and sabotage your progress. Ownership of your emotional state also means taking responsibility for the energy you bring into every situation. The way you feel affects your actions, your decisions, and even the people around you. When you choose to cultivate positive emotions, hope, faith, courage, you create a ripple effect that can change your environment. You become a source of strength, not only for yourself, but for others. But if you allow weak feelings to dominate, you drain your own energy and spread negativity. Taking ownership means choosing to be a vessel of strength even when you don't feel like it. Understand, too, that sometimes taking ownership means seeking help. It's not weakness to ask for guidance, counsel, or support when emotions overwhelm you. True ownership means knowing when to lean on others while maintaining responsibility for your own emotional journey. It means using every resource available to cultivate emotional strength and resilience. The most successful people are often those who know when to reach out and build a support network that helps them stay emotionally grounded. At the core of emotional ownership is the realization that you are more powerful than your feelings. Feelings are fleeting, but your spirit is eternal. Your mind is the battlefield where victory begins. When you refuse to be tossed by every emotional storm, you stand firm like a rock in the midst of the sea. You become the captain of your ship, steering it through rough waters with wisdom and courage. This mastery over your emotional state is not just a skill. It is a key to unlocking your highest potential. So today, decide that you will no longer give your feelings the power to control your life. Decide that you will take ownership, recognize your emotions, acknowledge them, but do not be enslaved by them. Choose to respond with strength, discipline, and purpose. When you master your emotional state, weak feelings lose their grip. You become unstoppable. You become the person you were created to be. Weak feelings have a way of creeping in and trying to take hold of your spirit when you least expect it. They come quietly, disguised as hesitation or doubt, and before you know it, they threaten to derail your journey. But here is a vital truth you must hold on to with everything you have. Weak feelings have no power over you unless you give them power. The way to strip them of their strength is not by ignoring them or hoping they disappear, but by replacing them with something far stronger, purpose and action. These two forces combined form an unstoppable engine that drives you forward no matter what stands in your way. Purpose is more than just a vague idea or a distant dream. It is the fire burning deep inside your soul that tells you why you were born and what you are meant to do. When you connect with your purpose, you ignite a force that silences weak feelings. Why? Because purpose creates clarity. Weak feelings thrive in confusion and indecision, but when your purpose is clear, you have a compass that guides every step you take. Your purpose tells you, this is where I am headed. No matter how hard the road, I must keep moving. It shifts your mindset from one of doubt to one of determination. Without purpose, your feelings become the boss of you. You let fear decide your next move. You listen to every whisper of discouragement and let it rule your day. But purpose changes the game. It gives you something to fight for, something bigger than the temporary feelings that threaten to hold you back. When you wake up every morning with purpose, your weak feelings lose their place in your mind. They are replaced by a burning desire to fulfill your calling. But purpose alone is not enough. You must combine it with action. Action is the antidote to weakness. You may feel fear, doubt, or insecurity, but when you take action, you tell those feelings they do not get to control you. Action is powerful because it shifts your focus from what you feel inside to what you do outside. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a declaration that you refuse to be paralyzed by weakness. It moves you from the place of dreaming and worrying into the realm of doing and becoming. Think about it. When you are stuck in your weak feelings, what usually happens? You hesitate, you procrastinate, you make excuses, but action breaks that cycle. Action is a disruptor. It interrupts the pattern of weakness and replaces it with momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Once you start moving, it becomes easier to keep moving. Your weak feelings begin to fade because you are not standing still to entertain them. You are pushing forward. This is why the people who succeed are not always those who never feel weak. They are those who act in spite of their weakness. They do not wait until they feel strong or ready. They move forward even when their feelings scream, "Stop." They understand that feelings will always fluctuate, but action creates progress. When you commit to purposeful action, you are taking your future into your own hands and telling weak feelings, "You do not have permission to stop me." Replacing weak feelings with purpose and action also requires intentionality. You have to decide every day that your purpose matters more than your feelings. You have to plan your actions and hold yourself accountable. This means setting goals that align with your purpose and then breaking them down into manageable steps. When you have a clear plan, your weak feelings lose their power because you know exactly what to do next. Uncertainty breeds weakness, but clarity breeds courage. It is also important to remember that action fuels confidence. Often weak feelings come from a lack of confidence, a voice inside you telling you you can't. But confidence is built through doing. The more you act, the more evidence you gather that you are capable. Every small victory becomes a brick in the foundation of your confidence. And with that confidence, weak feelings shrink. They become nothing more than background noise in the symphony of your progress. Purpose and action work together in a cycle. Purpose gives you direction. Action gives you proof that you can succeed. When you act on your purpose, you learn, you grow, and you refine your direction. This cycle propels you forward, turning weak feelings into opportunities for strength. Each time you replace hesitation with movement, you train your mind and body to believe in the possibility of victory. It is also necessary to understand that replacing weak feelings with purpose and action doesn't mean you will never feel weak again. Weak feelings will come, but you will be prepared. Your purpose will remind you why you keep going, and your habit of action will ensure that you keep moving. You develop resilience, a refusal to let temporary feelings define your permanent reality. This is the key to transformation. You transform not by wishing away your weak feelings, but by flooding your life with purpose-driven actions. You create a life so full of meaning and momentum that weakness has no room to grow. You don't eliminate weak feelings, you overpower them. So if you want to kill your weak feelings, don't wait for them to vanish. Instead, fill the space they occupy with purpose. Find that deep reason why you were made to push forward. Then take deliberate, consistent action toward that reason. Move every day, even if just a little, toward your dreams. As you do, watch how the weak feelings lose their grip. Watch how your life begins to shift. Watch how you become unstoppable. You have the power inside you to do this. Purpose and action are waiting for you to grab hold. They are the tools that will break every chain weak feelings try to place around your soul. Use them, embrace them, and kill your weak feelings once and for all. Strength is not something that comes overnight. It is not given freely or by chance. True strength is forged in the fires of discipline and perseverance. It is built slowly, step by step, decision by decision, especially in moments when your weak feelings tell you to give up. The road to greatness is not paved with ease and comfort. It is carved out by those who refuse to quit, even when the weight of the world presses down on their shoulders. Discipline is the foundation of strength. It is the daily commitment to choose what is right over what is easy, to keep going when you don't feel like it, and to do the hard work even when the reward is not immediate. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. When weak feelings threaten to pull you off course, discipline is the anchor that holds you steady. It keeps you focused on your goals, reminding you that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day after day. Perseverance is the companion of discipline. It is the willingness to endure hardship, setbacks, and failures without giving up. It means pushing forward even when the path is unclear and the future uncertain. Perseverance is what allows you to stand strong in the face of adversity. It is the grit that makes you get up one more time after every fall, the courage to keep walking when every step hurts. Without perseverance, discipline can become mechanical and hollow. But with perseverance, discipline becomes a powerful force for transformation. Strength is a muscle you build by repeatedly choosing action over inaction. When you are tired, discipline tells you to rest but not to quit. When your emotions scream stop, perseverance tells you to push harder. Each time you resist the temptation to give in to weak feelings, you grow stronger. Each time you keep your word to yourself and show up, even in the face of discomfort, you build resilience. This resilience is not just physical endurance. It is mental toughness, emotional stability, and spiritual depth. Many people confuse strength with brute force or talent, but true strength is deeper. It is the quiet power that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself when the world turns against you. It is the confidence born from discipline and perseverance, not from luck or fleeting motivation. Motivation is temporary. Discipline and perseverance are permanent. They become habits that sustain you when motivation fades. Understand this: discipline is a choice you make every day. It is not something you wait for to feel like doing. It is something you decide to do. You decide to get up early, to work when others rest, to say no to distractions, to keep learning and improving. Discipline creates a structure for your life, a framework where weak feelings have no place. It trains your mind to focus on long-term rewards rather than short-term comforts. Perseverance requires faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your purpose, faith in the process. When you persevere, you are saying, "I believe that this struggle will produce something better." You hold on to hope even when the road is rough. This faith gives you the stamina to keep moving forward even when you cannot see the finish line. It reminds you that every step counts, that every moment of persistence is an investment in your future. You must also realize that discipline and perseverance are not easy. They demand sacrifice. There will be moments when weak feelings scream louder than ever. The voice inside you that says give up will be strong. But here is where strength is truly tested. It is not tested when everything is smooth and easy, but when you choose to rise above your feelings and keep pushing. This is the battlefield of the soul, where winners are made. The beauty of discipline and perseverance is that they build momentum. At first, the work may feel exhausting and slow. You may doubt if it is worth it. But with consistent effort, you begin to see progress. Progress fuels motivation, and motivation fuels more discipline. It becomes a cycle that propels you forward. The weak feelings that once held you back lose their power because you are now moving with unstoppable force. Remember that strength built through discipline and perseverance is lasting. It carries you through storms that would have otherwise knocked you down. It is the kind of strength that does not fade with time, but grows deeper. It shapes your character, builds your integrity, and prepares you for greater challenges. This strength is your foundation for a life of purpose and impact. So when you feel weak feelings trying to take over, Remind yourself that strength is not the absence of weakness, but the decision to keep going despite it. Train yourself to be disciplined, to be relentless in your pursuit. Build perseverance by refusing to quit, no matter how hard it gets. This is how you kill your weak feelings, not by wishing them away, but by replacing them with unshakable strength. You were made for more than comfort. You were made to endure, to struggle, and to conquer. Discipline and perseverance are your allies in this journey. Embrace them, cultivate them. Let them carry you beyond your weak feelings into a life of victory and fulfillment. The strength you seek is already inside you. It is waiting for you to claim it through your daily choices. No one achieves greatness alone. The journey to overcoming weak feelings and becoming strong is not meant to be walked in isolation. Surrounding yourself with positive influences and a strong support system is essential to killing your weak feelings and stepping fully into your power. The people you allow into your inner circle shape your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. If you want to be strong, resilient, and unstoppable, you must be intentional about the company you keep. Weak feelings often grow in silence and solitude. When you face challenges alone, doubts and fears whisper louder in your mind. Negative thoughts multiply, and discouragement takes root. But when you surround yourself with people who uplift, encourage, and inspire you, those weak feelings begin to lose their grip. Positive influences act like sunlight breaking through the darkness, illuminating your path and giving you strength to keep going. It's important to recognize the power of association. The Bible says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." This means that the people around you have a direct impact on your growth and strength. If your circle is filled with negativity, criticism, or complacency, your weak feelings will be fed and nurtured. But when your circle is full of people who believe in you, challenge you to rise higher, and celebrate your victories, you begin to mirror their strength and determination. Surrounding yourself with positive influences means more than just having friends. It means building relationships with mentors, coaches, and role models who have walked the path before you and can guide you through the valleys. These are people who can speak wisdom into your life, hold you accountable, and remind you of your potential when you forget. They help you see beyond your weak feelings and into the possibilities that await you. A strong support system provides encouragement on days when your spirit is low. When weak feelings try to convince you that you are not enough, your support system reminds you of your worth. When you stumble or face setbacks, they stand beside you, offering a hand to lift you up and a voice to remind you that failure is not final. This network of support is a fortress that protects you from the isolation that weak feelings often bring. It's also essential to guard your mind against toxic influences. Social media, news, and even casual conversations can sometimes drain your energy and fuel negative emotions. Be intentional about what you allow into your mental space. Seek out content and company that build you up rather than tear you down. Feed your mind with inspiration, encouragement, and stories of triumph. Your environment affects your emotions more than you realize, so curate it carefully. Positive influence also comes from shared purpose. When you connect with people who share your vision and values, you create a powerful collective energy. Together, you push each other forward. You celebrate each other's victories and provide strength in moments of weakness. Shared purpose creates a sense of belonging, which is essential for emotional well-being and resilience. It reminds you that you are not alone in your fight against weak feelings. Remember, it's okay to be selective about who you allow into your circle. Sometimes, the hardest but most necessary step to strengthening your emotional state is letting go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. This does not mean harboring bitterness or resentment, but rather making space for people who align with your vision for a strong, purposeful life. Surround yourself with those who inspire you to be your best self. Moreover, be a source of positive influence for others. Strength is contagious. When you cultivate your own resilience and discipline, you become a beacon for those around you. Your determination and courage can inspire others to kill their own weak feelings. By giving support and encouragement, you create a cycle of strength that benefits not just you, but your entire community. In moments when weak feelings threaten to overwhelm you, reach out. Don't try to battle alone. Speak to those who uplift you, share your struggles, and accept their help. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is a doorway to healing and strength. A strong support system respects your vulnerability and meets it with love and encouragement, helping you rise again. Finally, remember that building a positive support system is an ongoing process. It requires effort, intentionality, and sometimes courage. It means seeking out new relationships, nurturing existing ones, and protecting your space from negativity. But the investment is worth it. With the right people around you, your weak feelings lose their foothold, and your spirit grows stronger each day. You were not meant to walk this journey alone. Surround yourself with those who build you up, challenge you, and celebrate you. Let their strength be your strength. When you do, you create a powerful force that kills weak feelings and empowers you to live the life you were created to live, full of purpose, passion, and unshakable confidence. So now you see, my friend, that weak feelings do not have to define you. They are not your master. They are your challenge. You have been given the power to take ownership of your emotions, to replace weakness with purpose and action, to build unshakable strength through discipline and perseverance, and to surround yourself with the right people who will lift you up when you want to fall. Today is the day you decide that weak feelings will no longer have a seat at your table. Today is the day you rise above hesitation, doubt, and fear. Stand firm in your purpose. Move forward with discipline. Keep pressing when it feels hard. Reach out when you need support. This is how you become unstoppable. Remember, the battle to kill your weak feelings is not a one-time fight. It is a lifelong commitment. But every step you take in strength, every choice you make in faith, brings you closer to the life you were created to live. So take your place, walk boldly, and never let weak feelings steal your destiny again. You are stronger than your struggles. You are greater than your doubts. Now go and show the world the power that lies within you. Kill your weak feelings and live victorious.